there. We're just talking to the sheriff.
Who's doing the talking? You or the gun? What do you want?
We're looking for a friend of ours who's up in the mountains.
I know these mountains better than anyone. Put the gun down.
Yeah, well,
Let these people go. I'll do you courtesy and point you in the right direction.
this ain't a negotiation, friend.
It is to me.
Okay. Let's negotiate.
The movie begins with Lee and Fodes covertly surveilling the headquarters of a drug trafficking gang. Before launching the mission, Lee gives Fodes a watch as a keepsake. They proceed with the raid, only to find the building seemingly deserted. With no signs of suspicious activity, they exit and resume monitoring the situation from outside. However, the thieves had been hiding in a concealed area within the headquarters. Waiting for the perfect moment, they suddenly emerged and opened fire, wounding Lee. Fodes quickly launched a fierce counterattack, taking down all but one of the assailants. Just as he began to lower his guard, the last remaining criminal struck first, stabbing Fodes and shifting the momentum. But before the attacker could finish him off, Lee stepped in and acted first. Lee quickly ordered the roads to be sealed and civilians evacuated, anticipating an imminent explosion. Although the threat was ultimately neutralized, Lee couldn't escape his fate and passed away. 4 months later, in the city of Nevada, police were in a relentless chase after a gang of criminals who had just executed a daring heist. However, one of the thieves managed to hack into the communication system, disrupting police signals and allowing the gang to vanish just moments before the officers could move in. That night, it was confirmed the gang had stolen $10 million from a city casino. The identities behind the heist soon surfaced. Banks led the operation, while Lawson, a seasoned veteran, was the mastermind. As soon as it ended, Lawson fled in the getaway car, erasing all traces. As soon as Lawson left, Banks and his crew opened the loot bag only to find a ticking bomb. Their escape route had been sealed, leaving them trapped. Banks instantly realized the betrayal. Lawson had taken all the money and set a trap to eliminate them. Desperate, Banks tried to disarm the device, while elsewhere, Lawson calmly pulled out his phone, ready to detonate the bomb and complete his plan. Banks managed to disable the bomb just in time, foiling Lawson's deadly trap. Refusing to be outplayed, he and his crew vowed to hunt Lawson down. Banks then instructed Geary, their hacker, to track Lawson using a hidden locator he had secretly planted on his clothes. The scene shifts to Fodes, enjoying a quiet day in the countryside with his daughter. But when he learns that Kim is about to meet a friend, a sense of unease creeps in. He suspects trouble is near. As soon as his daughter left, Fodes began preparing for a hunting trip with a friend waiting in the wilderness. But his plans were cut short by an urgent call from the police chief, ordering him to report immediately Kim had been accused of shoplifting. At the station, Kim was being questioned about her ties to Larson, while Banks and his crew were also there, seeking the chief's help to track down Lawson. Each party was chasing its own goal, unaware of the danger ahead. Lawson was hiding deep in the forest, moving through woodland toward the border, while Banks' crew struggled to find a way in. Meanwhile, as Fodes arrived at the police station, he immediately spotted 2 of Banks' men outside. As he approached, one of them, Dominica, stepped forward, gun in hand, ready to strike. Fodes demanded an explanation, and Banks calmly stated he was seeking the police chief's help to track a fugitive hiding in the forest. But when the chief refused, Banks and his crew took matters into their own hands, seizing the police station where Fodes' daughter Kim was being held. Sensing rising tension, Fodes offered to help Banks track down Lawson on one condition: Kim and the police chief had to be released. Banks agreed to free Kim, but then coldly executed the chief, removing any obstacle. At that moment, one of Banks' men entered and aimed a gun at Fodes from behind. Fodes reacted instantly, but his gun was empty. With no other option and Kim's life at risk, he was forced to comply with Banks' orders. Fodes kept Kim's identity as his biological daughter a secret. When Banks' crew took Kim hostage, the hunt began. They found Lawson's car and the tracking device, but lost the trail through the forest. Terrified by the criminals' threats, Kim was comforted by her father, who promised they'd find a chance to escape during the journey. Fodes saw Kim ask Dominica for a moment alone, then heard her desperate screams. One of Banks' men was attacking her. Fueled by rage, Fodes brutally took down the attacker. Sensing the chaos, Banks ordered Jensen to eliminate Fodes and silence any threats. Suspecting the bond between Fodes and Kim, Banks aimed to shoot Fodes. In panic, Kim called him Dad, exposing their true relationship. Meanwhile, the hacker seized the chaos to launch a coup, though he soon complained of exhaustion and thirst as the hunt intensified. Irritated by the hacker's attitude, Jensen forced him to drink his own urine, sparking a furious fight. Amid the chaos, Fodes saw a chance and urged Kim to run, but Banks intervened, threatening to kill them both if they moved again. After a long day's walk, the group rested and quickly fell asleep. Seizing the moment, Fodes tried to free Kim but was caught by Jensen, who slapped him hard. The next morning, they resumed their chase toward the Canadian border. Along the way, Fodes spotted a partially burned map-proof Lawson had recently camped nearby, confirming he wasn't far ahead. While sleeping in a tree, the hacker accidentally found Fodes' friend's corpse the hunter lost earlier. After confirming the death, Fodes concluded Lawson, a former Banks crew member, was responsible. They pressed on and soon found Lawson slumped against a tree, exhausted and injured, likely from a fight with Fodes' friend. Banks immediately interrogated Lawson about the stolen money, but Lawson refused to answer, mocking them as foolish thieves easily deceived. Enraged, Dominica and the others executed him. With Lawson dead, Banks' crew lost interest in the money until Kim suggested checking the river near Lawson's hideout, suspecting he might have hidden it there. Kim suggested searching the river to distract the gang and delay her and Fodes' execution, as they were deemed worthless. They found the money, but it teetered on a cliff's edge, too risky to retrieve. Seizing the moment, Fodes offered a deal. He'd retrieve the money if they released Kim. Banks flatly rejected the deal, insisting he'd free Kim only after securing the money. After a tough climb, Fodes retrieved the cash. But as Banks grabbed it, he opened fire on Fodes and Jensen, then cut the rope, causing them to fall into the deep ravine below. As Banks prepared to kill Kim, she revealed a way to escape the wilderness, prompting him to spare her. Following Kim's lead, the group left the forest. Along the way, Geary, attracted to Kim, hinted at starting a relationship, but she rejected him, angering Geary. Geary lashed out, brutally beating Kim, but Dominica quickly intervened, protecting her and subduing Geary. Frustrated with Geary's behavior, Banks and his gang left him behind. Meanwhile, Fodes, still alive, buried himself to recover from his gunshot wounds and avoid detection. When he found a backpack with emergency supplies, he discovered a crossbow, a weapon that could shift the odds in his favor. After a long, exhausting day, Banks and the gang decided to rest. Jensen revealed all their food was in Geary's backpack. Meanwhile, Geary, still alive, was enjoying a lavish meal alone, but remained uneasy, fearing a wild animal attack in the isolated forest. Meanwhile, Fodes quietly prepared his arrows and launched a swift counterattack, starting by eliminating the isolated Geary with a precise crossbow shot. Learning Kim was headed to the border, he quickly planned his next move. The next morning, as Banks and his gang pressed on, Kim remained determined that her father was still alive. Kim left a subtle clue, confident her father was alive and searching for her. As the group pressed on, Jensen paused to light a cigarette. Seeing Jensen alone, Fodes confronted him, sparking a fight. Despite Fodes' size, Jensen's superior strength and skill quickly overpowered him. Fodes ended the fight by driving a sharp wooden shard into Jensen. When Banks and Dominica received no response to their calls, they left him behind. Confident her father had won, Kim pressed on. Near the Canadian border, Fodes reappeared, hurling a heavy log at Banks, igniting their final confrontation. The log hit Dominica, killing her instantly and sparking Banks' fury. He threatened to kill Kim if Fodes interfered again, then aimed his gun at Fodes. But Banks fell into a trap and was pushed into a ravine. Seizing the moment, Banks convinced Kim to keep heading toward the nearest border. Fodes regained his composure and tracked Banks, who had already reached the border with Kim. To avoid detection, Banks killed 3 campers. When his gun ran out of bullets, he planned to knock Kim unconscious and escape on a motorcycle. Just then, Fodes appeared and told Kim to seek help. At a nearby settlement, Banks hid as engines approached, signaling danger. Realizing Fodes was close, he fled into an abandoned warehouse. After a fierce struggle, Fodes defeated him and left with a bag of money proof of his survival and victory. Kim reunited with her father just as Banks arrived. Banks insulted Kim, enraging Fodes, who then rammed Banks with a motorcycle, causing a fatal explosion. With Banks gone, Fodes rescued Kim, and after days of peril, they were finally together again.